Rape by force. These are sick bucks, and they need to just go to jail. My first rape was at the age of 6 by a knife point. I had talked about that our house wasn't very stable. Somebody broke into my room, held me down with a knife. Physically, a grown adult got on top of me, pressured me down, and proceeded to violate me. And that was a home invasion as well. So it was in my room, in my bed, at knife point, and I was 6. I had quite a bit of physical pain and trauma from that. I did try to go tell my parents, but my parents weren't very nice. So when I went down to the basement and knocked on the door, my father started yelling at me immediately that I shouldn't be out of bed, and that if I didn't know what was best for me, that he was going to beat the crap out of me or whatever. It was so not only was it forcible rape, child by knife point, my memory that is the clearest is that cold blade. When you have a sharp blade at your neck and there's nothing you can do. He had his blade in one hand and he had his arm across me in the other way, and physically just the pure weight of a grown man on a child kept me down there, and I was asleep before he got there, so there was nothing. I couldn't get free and I couldn't go. So when you're dealing with that kind of a rape, it's not just the pain and the penetration and the feeling of violation. It's that being helpless, being immobile, being unable to even scream or holler. Now, with forcible rapes, frequently what happens is we black out. It's just too much physical pain, or we could be knocked unconscious as well from just being beaten into submission so that they can rape, which makes them a bitch in court. Because they want all of the details and they want to know where this was and where that was and where anything was. And when you're being physically violently raped, it's hard to remember all of those details because your emotions are overwhelmed with just trying to survive, and your thoughts of how can I get out and how can I get away and can I defend myself, and if I did, where would I go and will they catch me? You have that fear afterwards of just day-to-day travel and doing something, and someone could at any time just grab you and kidnap you. It's pretty terrifying, and it's not something that you're just gonna get over, and it can affect you your entire life. If you're not doing anything wrong and you are physically assaulted. A lot of men that were raped that way, and again, perpetrators are generally male, they never get over it. They never get over it. So the fact that it happens more often to women, and women hopefully have other women to talk to about it and do recover, says a lot about us. Men that are forcibly raped like that, if they can afford it, end up in therapy based on just to be manhandled and to be physically manipulated into an unwanted intimate act. Can screw a person up pretty good. Recovery for that, I definitely think, is talking about it. So, and not just the actual rape act, but those feelings and those emotions and how you overcome them and how you can find safety in your own home. The next incident I had was when I was older and I was getting off work, or I was leaving the place that I was a waitress at, and I was grabbed and shoved into my car. Now that one I was able to fight off and fight against, and that one ended up in court, and I remember all of the prosecutor and the attorneys and all of the drilling and all of the questions and the, this and that, and I'm thinking, I was just trying to get free. I was trying to, did I scratch him? If I did, where did I scratch him? What did I? And I'm like, I was just trying to get free. You've got all these emotions and stuff going through. Yeah, our injustice system does not treat rape victims well. Not at all. Kind of like molestation. And we really need to fix that if we're going to put an end to this problem. But sadly, at least we have something. A lot of the other countries don't. And they sell their girls off at the age of 11, 12, sell them to grown men who uses them for sex and slaves until they discard them and go get another 11 or 12-year-old to do the same thing. So our country, the U.S., has some work to do. Unfortunately, we are still above some of the other countries when it comes to that, though. So talk about the injustice system if you did prosecute, although I am going to throw another section up. And I had a girlfriend that I'd worked with for probably about a year. And one day I had showed her PTSD.online, and she started crying. She said when she was a teenager, she was abducted, taken into a field, gang raped, and left for dead. She said it fucked her up for a long time. Long time. Sometimes things take time, healing, positive reinforcement, I think, is the best, to be in a lot of safe situations to help get away that fear.